So today, we are going to talk about how to have a crazy glow up by the summer using psychology. I know when you click on a glow up video, you probably expect to hear to buy a bunch of products or to do something really extreme to change your appearance, when actually a lot of the things that change the way you look are psychological. So the first thing is that your environment actually might be keeping you stuck from your best glow up, because it's hard to become a different version of yourself when the current environment that you're in is bringing you back into the old one. So there's a study from 2018 published in the Journal of Environmental Psychology that looked at how your habits and behavior are impacted by your environment. What they found was that people who made the smallest of changes to their environment, like rearranging furniture or changing lighting, felt way more capable of actually changing their habits. So what does this have to do with glowing up? Your brain starts to associate certain behaviors with certain environments. So let's say you're trying really hard to change the way that you look. But every day you wake up in the same environment, doing the same thing, scrolling in the exact same spot, just constantly reinforcing that to yourself that this is what we do every day. Your brain starts to think that. When you try to actually make a change, but you're in that same room, it's much more difficult to actually take action towards the change. I noticed this with myself too. When I was trying to make changes in my life, but I woke up and was doing the same thing in my house every single day, like doom scrolling, it became very difficult for me to actually make any changes. When I stepped outside of my house and went somewhere else, even as simple as a coffee shop, I was able to actually make movement towards my goals. So some quick wins that you can do right now is to reset your environment. Change something in the room that you're in. Go outside of your house. Romanticize your routines in another space and see how quickly things start to change for you. Because you can't become the summer version of yourself while still reinforcing the old one. Most people completely overlook this next one. This is where the psychology of glow-ups gets really interesting. There's a study from Princeton that looked at first impressions. They found that people make judgments about attractiveness, trustworthiness, and competence in the first 100 milliseconds of meeting someone. And research shows that 55% of this judgment is based on non-verbal communication, which includes your body language, your eye contact, and your posture. So if you see me right now with this kind of posture, just like this, and I'm looking from side to side, I can't look directly in the screen. I'm just slouched over and I'm trying to talk to you about glowing up. What would you think? You probably wouldn't trust me, because all of this nonverbal communication impacts if you think I'm confident, if you think I know what I'm talking about, and it's one of the easiest things that you can change immediately on how people perceive you. And research also shows that body language doesn't just communicate how other people perceive you. It also communicates how you feel about yourself. If you're just slouching, your brain starts to interpret that as I'm not confident. I come from an East African family, and if there's one thing my aunties always would get on me for was posture. They always would tell me to walk into the room with my head straight and pull my shoulders back, and I would just roll my eyes. And now as an adult, I'm starting to see how important that is and how people actually judge you just based on if you're walking into the room with your head high versus if you're shrugged into your shoulder texting on your phone with tech neck. These are really easy things to fix right now. One thing you can start to do is to start paying attention to your posture, start paying attention to how you're walking into the room, and start paying attention to if you're making eye contact when you're having a conversation with someone. That shift in energy, people will notice it immediately. So this next one genuinely changed the way that I looked at glow-ups. And it's a little bit uncomfortable, but I have to tell you the truth. Your phone is lowering your attractiveness. So research has shown that constant stimulation from your phone has an impact on your cortisol levels. It rises the cortisol levels, the stress hormone, and elevated cortisol doesn't just make you feel stressed. It affects your skin, your sleep, your weight, and your mood. And then there's the dopamine side of things. Every time you scroll, your brain gets these little micro hits of dopamine. Constant stimulation can affect your motivation, attention, and reward sensitivity. And when that happens, nothing feels rewarding anymore. So even though you may really want to take care of yourself, you won't have the energy or the motivation to do so. I noticed this firsthand. When I would wake up and open my phone first thing and just scroll, I literally would have no motivation to do my morning workout or to eat better in that day. The second I stopped using my phone the first thing in the morning, I had so much more energy to actually take care of myself. So something that you can implement right now is no phone for the first 30 minutes of the day. Use that time to get some sunlight, walk outside, do anything else. even create intentional boredom, because a lot of people don't lack discipline. They're just overstimulated. So this next point is one of the biggest reasons why people stay stuck in the current version of themselves. So when you imagine right now the version of you that you want to be for the summertime, she's probably very confident. But the thing is that we've been getting confidence all wrong. Confidence doesn't start where we think it does. So confidence is actually not a feeling, and it's not affirmations in the mirror. Confidence is actually evidence. So there's a study from Stanford that looked at confidence and habit change. What they found was that people who tracked small wins and built proof for themselves had significantly higher rates of sustained behavior change than people who relied on motivation or affirmations alone. Because your brain trusts proof way more than words. Every action that you take is a vote for the person who you want to become. If your actions don't match the person that you say that you want to be, your brain doesn't believe you. So if you are trying to build your discipline so that you can do the actions that you need to get the summer glow up, it's not enough to look in the mirror and say that I'm disciplined and I'm confident and I'm a queen. Those things are great, but when you actually start taking the action towards these things, you will start to believe that you are these things. So create identity evidence daily. A workout, a healthy meal, waking up earlier, keeping promises to yourself. That is gonna make you walk into the summer being way more confident than telling yourself in the mirror that you are confident. Think of it as building evidence, not building confidence. Now this last one is the reason why people's glow-ups take way longer than they actually need to. So I have to warn you about this. Glow-ups happen faster in private. I have a whole video doing a deep dive on this called Detach, Go Ghost, and Glow Up, but I'll give you a quick summary right now. There's a study from NYU in 2019 that looked at goal achievement and social accountability. What they found was actually counterintuitive. People who announced their goals to other people were less likely to actually achieve them because the act of telling people in advance gave them a premature sense of accomplishment. They got the validation from just talking about it, but not being about it for real. And there's another layer to this too. There's research that shows that the people around you shape your habits and your self-perception. So when you're constantly around the people who know the old version of you, they unconsciously pull you back. They expect you to act in a certain way, and that can keep you in a box and keep you smaller than the version of you that you're trying to become. I know this because I experienced this. The second I stopped announcing my goals to everyone is when things started to actually move forward for me. Because I wasn't trying to perform some glow up transformation for everyone else. I was actually just doing the work. So I know it can be hard, but try not to announce your goals. If you want to have this crazy glow up by summer, don't tell it to anyone, keep it to yourself, and really just lock in on yourself. Become more intentional with who has access to you in this time so you can actually achieve this goal. The biggest glow ups happen psychologically first. The people who completely transform, change their environment, they build confidence through evidence, they reduce overstimulation, and they change how they carry themselves. They protect their energy, and that's what creates a physical glow up. But there's a whole side of this that a lot of people completely overlook. The unsexy habits that actually make a difference. The stuff that you won't see anyone talking about because it's not actually aesthetic. I'm covering all of that in my next video. So make sure you subscribe because I'm dropping videos on how to glow up every single week and you don't want to miss it.